Hey guys, Rob here coming at you from the shop. Got a new project that I've been working on here. Just went and picked it up. And you know, for those of you who know me, know that's not a shock. New project. What is a shock is that it's not a car this time. Aaron and I have been talking a little bit about doing some more family-oriented activities, stuff that's going to be more fun for everyone and not just myself, which I kind of get. I've been wrapped up in a lot of these car bills. They take a long time and a lot of money. So kids want to do camping, everyone wanted to do camping. I don't mind camping so much, but what do you do once you're camping? Okay, we're here, we're camping. Now what? Well, I needed something a little more substantial, a little more activity to occur during these camping trips. Excuse me. So we were talking, and I got the idea of, you know, since apparently Aaron and my mother had a meeting and I'm not allowed to have a motorcycle, but dirt bikes are okay. So we said, hey, how about dirt bikes? How about ATVs? How about, you know, quads, UTVs, things like that? That would be fun. We go camp places and do that during the day, and then we camp. So I went ahead and I've gone ahead and I've purchased the first of what might be several of these things to go ahead and start doing that. I've bought this thing from killermotorsports.com. Can't say enough great stuff about it. Very helpful over the phone. And what's really amazing is I ordered the thing on a Saturday, and realistically that doesn't count. Saturday, Sunday doesn't count as far as shipping. It really starts on Monday. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Today is Thursday. It was ready this morning. So that's really 3 full days of transit time, and it was here. R&L Carriers is down in Pembroke Pines, about a half hour away from me. I went down with my new trailer that I built, and this is the first time hauling with it, and it works flawlessly. So I picked it up. They forklifted it onto the trailer for me. So let's go ahead and get a look at this thing. All right, well, as you guys can see, this thing comes in a pretty substantially large crate. It's actually encased in a steel shipping rig here and bolted down to it, which is pretty cool. I have to say, I'm very impressed. It's really packed in there well, and everything's wired in. It's very sturdy for what it is. All the parts are packed in here pretty tight. It's just a question now of getting it out of the shipping crate and then going ahead and start laying the parts out and see what we got and start bolting it together. So we're going to go ahead and start doing that now. I'm going to go ahead and start undoing this crate here, and then we'll get right back. All right, guys. Well, here she is. It was encased in a giant angle iron cage, which needed a series of nuts and bolts removed in order to unbolt it from the bottom platform here. What I can tell you is that this thing definitely shifted in transit. There's perches here that the axle was sitting on at one point, but obviously is not sitting on anymore. That's why the front of this thing was out beyond the crate. And as such, there's you know, little areas of wear and stuff on the chassis from where this thing was rubbing in places where it shouldn't have. That's a little disappointing because the disc rotor here has been on the ground, rubbing on the ground that it shouldn't have been. So this rotor might be damaged, and I'm not sure yet. I have to wait and see. It looks to me like it might have incurred some damage here. Whether it's warped or not, we'll have to wait and see, but I'm a little disappointed in that. Yeah, it looked like it was packaged pretty well. It could have been the shipping company is jostling it around too much, I'm not sure. The other thing that I noticed right off the bat is that there is no gas cap. I don't know. Hopefully it's in a box in here with the rest of these parts, but I don't see one. And that means that a bunch of dust and debris could have gotten in the gas tank. So we'll have to wait and see on that. I mean, otherwise it doesn't seem to have any major damage. Looks like the Chinese really, you know, took a lot of time to ensure that this sucker was packaged properly, but there's little brackets that are supposed to be bolted around the axle there, where those cradles are to hold the axle in place, and they're not on there. There's no bolts on there, and there's no tops, so that's why this sucker shifted for sure. I can see right here there's definitely a model number and a little plate from the manufacturer. On the other side there's another one that has a kind of like a VIN number, and that's going to help with registering this thing if we decide we're going to go that route. But here it is with just the top off. I haven't removed any of the parts. I'm going to start removing some parts out of this thing and laying them over so that we can kind of see what we got here. and see what I'm missing and where and all that good stuff, and then we'll go from there. All right, guys. Well, as you can see here, I've got basically the whole thing unpacked. It's kind of interesting. The whole thing was basically set up to act as a lifeboat for all its parts, which is kind of funny if you think about it. Little minor wrapping still on it, but everything seems to be here and intact and in one piece. You know, it seems to be pretty solid. You know, a little wear damage from things shifting around in transit. Good news, I did find the gas cap. I guess it was, they take it off and had a little bag over here because of height tolerances for how they package it in the in this fine metal cage that they took so much trouble to make and then forgot to bolt it in. But, you know, it's a long way from China, and it's here, and it made it, and it's in one piece. So, and all the parts are here. So, I mean, I guess I really can't complain too much. Especially, you know, when you think about how much I paid for this thing. I did not pay a lot of money for this. This thing was $1,700 shipped to my door. It's a four-seater rather. You know, it comes with, you know, some pretty nice plastics, full roll cage, utility rack, all the, you know, nice new tires and everything. Fog lights, headlights, seat belts. I mean, it's got signals on it, for God's sakes. An electric start. High beams, low beams, a horn. This thing, realistically, once I get the manufacturer's certificate of origin, could be registered here in Florida as a low-speed vehicle. So I'm pretty stoked, actually. I think this thing's going to be cool. For $1,700, I mean, you could very easily pay a lot more than that for something used around here. So the fact that it's here in one piece and it's solid, you know, and it's what I ordered, you know, you got steel braided lines here. You got some cool stuff on this little thing. I'm a little impressed. I'm hoping that rotor isn't damaged, because that will be a problem. You know, brakes are pretty important. So I'm hoping that didn't get damaged in transit, especially with that asshole at R&L sliding this thing around the floor of the depot to move it around to get it to load. He was sliding this thing across the floor with the forklift, and which is great if you're only sliding on the frame of this thing, but he was apparently sliding it on the brake caliper here, which is no bueno. So at any rate, I'm going to start take an inventory of what's in some of these smaller boxes here, hardware and such, and get an idea how this thing is supposed to go together through the instructions. God forbid I should read the instructions. And then we're gonna start assembly here. So it should be a lot of fun. Those are the little bucket seats that it comes with, and boy, are they tiny. The driver's side one slides. We're definitely gonna have to upgrade at least the front ones to fit my fat ass in here. I'll tell you that right now. Oh, I'm right. I'm sorry. This is supposed to be for the kids. I'm sorry. That's my bad. All right, yeah, forget that. I'll just, we'll figure something out. I got this woodland camo not because I'm such a redneck, but because of the fact that the only other color they had available was blue. Not that blue is bad, but when they had it in blue and red and yellow, they also had the same color inserts on the seats. And I really wanted the seats all black like that. I thought it was kind of tacky. It looked better with everything all blacked out. So I figured if I didn't like this camo, I could always paint this and the grill shell that goes on here any color I want, and then the whole thing would be all black if I want or whatever. So that's where I'm at with this right now. I am going to open some of these boxes, get my instructions, and as soon as I'm ready to start assembling this thing, we'll get back. As you guys can see, I got it pretty much together here. Looking a little ragtag, but feeling a little ragtag, but it's together. I think I'll put the front fenders on. You know, it's not the hardest thing I've put together. It wasn't the easiest, but it wasn't really hard. Some bolts didn't want to line up, you know, typical stuff. A couple of hammers here and there to bang some stuff that got bent a little out of shape, back into shape and such. I will say this, it took me by myself better part of 2.5 hours to put the thing together. It's been a bear just lifting it up and getting the wheels and tires on, getting it separated from the crate by myself, but I was able to do it, obviously. I will say this, you need to have a little mechanical aptitude to build one of these, you know? You have to be able to improvise. The other thing is, this thing did not come with any instructions, like none. As far as I can tell, every single nut, bolt, and part that was needed to put this thing together was here. Everything was accounted for, everything was here, everything's going together okay. But there were no instructions. So there's like an online tutorial, not a tutorial, there's a video on YouTube. And when I say video, it's not an instructional video, it's a just a video of somebody putting one of these together, like up close. There's no talking or anything, so I didn't even use that. It just, I was able to just look at it and you can kind of tell what needed to go where, but some people might not be able to do that, you know? It might be, you know, some people might not have the aptitude to say, oh, I know how that goes there, and that goes there. And I'm no mechanic, you know? But I was able to put it together pretty easily and pretty quickly. I still gotta bleed the brakes. You gotta pour the acid into the battery. It comes with like a separate jug of acid in the battery. You have to fill the acid in the battery and charge it and do that. You know, but otherwise it went together without a hitch. I put Loctite, blue Loctite and everything. I had blue Loctite, that's what I used. Probably could have used red, but you know, blue will get the job done. Other than that, it went together pretty well. Everything looks pretty good. Pretty happy with it, and I'm sure the kids are going to be really, really happy with it. Yeah, these bucket seats in this thing are small. I can fit in them, but not easily. I have to like really finagle my way in here, and here's the pedals. So I could fit in it, I can drive it, but boy, would it be nice to have this thing about 8 inches further back. As you can see, there's quite a bit of space behind me. Now this seat goes forward even more, and then it goes back. This is all the way back. So we're gonna have to do something about that. Otherwise, I like it. Not so sure about these lights yet. I have to see how bright they are. You know, could use a bimini top roof would be kind of cool to have on it. Little stuff like that. But we'll get to that. For right now, just gonna enjoy having it together and play with it. It comes with some pretty crappy Chinese shipping oil in the engine, so that's all gotta be stripped out. I'm gonna put some good Valvoline in there, and while I'm at it, I'm gonna replace the spark plug with an NGK plug, because I don't know what kind of spark plugs they put in here. This is a Honda clone engine. It's 150cc GY6 type motor, so it should be pretty durable. But basic stuff like that, I'm gonna change the oil for good oil and change the spark plug for a good spark plug, and that should put us where we need to be. So here we are.